Power of Love, Hourglass album. Power of Love is the second studio album by Hourglass, issued in March 1968 on Liberty Records, the final by the group with the namesakes of the Allman Brothers Band. After the failure of their first album, Liberty Records allowed a greater independence for the group, who had been virtually shut out of the decision-making for their first album by the label and producer Dallas Smith. However, with the label's decision to retain Smith as producer, the group, especially Duane Allman, once again felt constricted by their label's expectations for the album. With Smith behind the boards, Gregg Allman was still the focus. The younger Allman, who had seen only one of his compositions on the previous album, contributed 7 of the 12 tracks. The remainder were 2 from Marlon, Greene and Eddie Hinton and 1 each from the teams of Spooner Oldham and Dan Penn, John Berry and Don Covay, and John Lennon and Paul McCartney. The group performed all of the instrumentation, with Duane Allman adding electric sitar to their cover of the Beatles' Norwegian Wood, This Bird Has Flown, a staple of their live act. Neil Young of Buffalo Springfield wrote the liner notes, describing his experience sitting in on the session for the album track To Things Before, watching Gregg Allman leading the group through the number. After the failure of the album to enter the chart, the Hourglass traveled to Fame Studios in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, in an attempt to further refine their sound. However, Dallas Smith and Liberty Records were displeased with the group-produced blues-fueled rock tracks that the group returned to Los Angeles with, as they were light years away from the pop music Smith envisioned them performing. Additionally, seeing himself cut out of the group's picture was not ideal for Smith, even if his relations with the group had been strained. Hourglass disbanded shortly thereafter, with Gregg Allman returning to California to satisfy the terms of the group's contract with Liberty. Paired with the studio band, Allman recorded roughly an album's worth of material, though it took nearly a quarter of a century for it to surface. The album is currently available on the Hourglass anthology. The 1992 reissue on EMI, rife with bonus tracks from the aborted sessions for a Gregg Allman solo release, has fallen out of print. The bonus tracks are now available on the 2004 album Southbound.